This is Uncensored with myself, Clay Edwards, host of The Clay Edwards Show, and the world famous Save Jackson Facebook, Instagram, and social media TikTok superstar. I'm kidding. I am Clay Edwards. I do give out the F Around and Found Out Grand Championships. I'm coming off a very, very awesome weekend at the 38th Annual Mississippi Wildlife Extravaganza, where I got to meet a ton of listeners, followers, fans, whatever you want to call it, like-minded individuals. And a lot of those people, I say all that to say this, a lot of those people asked me, where is Shaun, Yurtkaran, and Lindsey Beckham? They wanted to meet y'all. I'm not just saying that. I'm not waxing poetically. Just
I'm making it feel good there. Yeah.
They legitimately wanted to meet Shaun and Lindsey. They were like, man, is Shaun really a Democrat? I said, I don't know if he's a Democrat. I was like, he's got a liberal heart. And I said, and I mean that in the good ways. I say, but I said, they may come up here, they may not. I said, we'll see. But so apparently, he said, if you notice that there is no Lindsey, Lindsey is feeling under the weather, and that's all we'll say. I don't want to put people's personal business out there, but she just didn't feel good tonight, so she's not on it. And we didn't do a stream last night because your boy was war slap out after a weekend at the extravaganza. I have a whole new respect, Shaun, for people who work these big events all the time.
It looked like a big one too, man. It was look
around 15,000 people over 3 days. And, I haven't worked a big event like that in a long, long time. And I definitely haven't done that. Well, me and Morgan worked the Brett Michaels Pearl Day thing, but that wasn't as much of a t-shirt and merch deal as it was us broadcasting live and also kind of hustling some shirts. Well, don't get me wrong. We worked our ass off and I threw my back out that day. But this was 3 days on my feet, 12 hours a day, roughly. It was a whole new experience. And as I was telling y'all last night, I was working out of the boxes the shirts were in, having to move them and restack them and move them and restack them and fumble through them every time somebody wanted a different size. And we sold a good bit of shirts, so it was a lot of work. Thank you, Jesus. But it wore your boy out. But it got me to thinking. I was like, there's a better way to do this. And thankfully, Lindsey sent me a link to a nice little roll around, multi-drawer cart that's perfect for these type events moving forward. So anyway, with all that said, Shaun and I are here live tonight on the Uncensored. Probably, I'm good to 10 o'clock if everything, if we got an hour and a half worth of running our mouth to do, I'm good for it tonight to kind of make up for lost time. There's a lot of big stories out there. Shaun, I've been itching. I don't know what you got queued up here, but I want to start with this just because I've been itching to know your thoughts on the FISA, the Trump, Obama, Hillary, the FISA documents, and kind of Tulsi Gabbard dropping a nuke on us, letting us know that there is factual evidence that Obama and Hillary did in fact knowingly do what they did concerning the spying on the Trump campaign, Operation Crossfire Hurricane, all that stuff. Man, have you had a chance to catch up on this, or
I have. I did look through it, and there's actually there's a lot of different takes on it, and I stuck with kind of conservative sites to kind of figure out what the take was on that side. And there seems to be a split here between, you know who Matt Taibbi is?
Matt Taibbi. I think it's Taibbi. That's how I hear it pronounced. I listened to Glenn Beck, and he referenced him a lot on it.
I'd reference because I was listening to a clip from Megyn Kelly, and I got the clip. If we want to get to it later, it's not very long. It's pretty good. And there's a difference between Matt Taibbi, who's kind of leaning with Tulsi Gabbard's analysis in this thing, and then Andrew McCarthy, who's a writer for the National Review, who wrote a book on the actual whole thing, and it's called let me see right here. The book is called like Ball of Collusion, and how the book's basically what the book's about is how the collusion wasn't between Trump and Russia, it was between the intelligence agencies and Obama and Hillary. That's the premise of the book. So he's not obviously some biased liberal, but his take on it is different than Taibbi. It's kind of like that we've already heard all of this stuff, and that's kind of what I'm gathering from it. Like all this information's already been out there. That really isn't anything different. Taibbi has a different take on it though, where he says that some of this is actually new. So,
well, it feels like it's left the realm of conspiracy theory and moved into the realm of legal precedents being set, maybe, or there's actual evidence now, documents that they say are legitimate that prove this.
Yeah, well, that's where my confusion is with it exactly, because so I took some of what she said that was kind of saying that the that they had conspired about Russia had tried to hack the voting machines, but we've always known that they weren't able to do that. That's been out there since 2016, 17, that information about the voting machines.
Yeah.
So I don't know. So there was some confusion that confused me what she was saying there, that now it's come out that, the Obama people said that they had tried to hack the voting machines, but as far as I know, that's inaccurate. I don't know if they ever said that. I mean, I've known that for years, that that the Russians weren't able to do that. I think there is what the disconnect is. She's saying that the Russians didn't have anything to do with the election, or didn't try to do anything. It's kind of the take I'm getting from her. And then, the independent, or not independent, the bipartisan Senate panel said that they did influence, not like necessarily influence like you think, like they through the election anyone, but that they put in, ads and bots and all that kind of stuff.
Well, so what I understood was that was the initial thing that the Obama administration come out and said that no, the Russians did not have any effect. There was no Russian legitimate influence. No, they didn't cheat and steal the election.
Right. Yeah.
There was proof. There was no proof that happened. But then they pivoted once Hillary realized that Trump was actually had a good chance of beating her. He was a formidable foe, and they changed and they said, basically, we have to steal this. We had to bring some heat on this this campaign, and they lied to get the FISA warrants.
Okay, I'm missing those parts. I may have missed that one. I know that she's claiming that there was some conspiracy with the Obama administration and helping Hillary. Right? That's essentially the thing of her.
Yeah, and so I intentionally avoided talking about this on my show this morning because this is so deep.
Yeah, it's really deep.
And I've said that, and I'll say the same thing now. I can listen to it and digest exactly what I'm hearing, but trying to regurgitate it and tell you and explain this to people in a way that makes sense is way above my pay grade.
I got a great clip from I had to listen to her to understand it, Clay. I'm not gonna lie to you. Because
Glenn Beck's thing was 40 minutes and I listened to it twice and I was like, okay, I get it. I can listen to it and get it. And and I'm not a big Glenn Beck guy. He's never really necessarily been my cup of tea, but he's really, really good at explaining things in a way that I can understand them.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought he did a really good job on it, but I'm looking forward to hearing the Megyn Kelly because she's a conservative, obviously.
That's why I went with her, because I didn't want to throw on the Daily Beast podcast or anything for you to throw the back. So, all right, let me put this on real quick when she talks about.
And I have a clip as well that I wanted to play too. That I think LOL 60 Minutes. All right, here we go.
There's been a very interesting development now within the intel community around Trump. Tulsi Gabbard late on Friday, and I just want to say, as on all things, I am a truly honest broker on this. I'm still trying to figure out what's real. I don't know.
Like who she is accusing of what, for instance?
No, whether she's right and Matt Taibbi, who I love, is right, that this is a bombshell and it's terrible and people really could go to jail, or whether Andy McCarthy at National Review, who I love and respect, and who's totally honest broker too, is correct, that this is a complete nothing burger and she's totally off and apparently hasn't read her own CIA director's release of last week. And that he would suggest she hasn't really been following the Russiagate scandal because everything she just told us is old. And so I'm really trying to figure out, but just to set it up for the audience, because it's very complex. On Friday night, Tulsi Gabbard went on Fox News and said that she'd found documents that she was releasing that show, in sum and substance, that one day the intelligence community under Barack Obama was ready to come out and say that the Russians did not interfere in the 2016 election and really had no part in it, and that whole thing was kind of bullshit. Then Barack Obama pulled them all into the White House. They had a big meeting. And then literally the next day, they were like, Russia interfered to help Trump, and leaked it to all the reporters, Washington Post. And the suggestion is that Obama turned to them and said, I'm not having a report coming out of you guys saying that they didn't interfere. Our whole narrative is that Hillary would have won had it not been for the Russians. Now give me a report that says that. That's the implication. And that then the intel community did it, and the subservient Washington press corps ran with it. And that's how the narrative really took off, that the Russians had gotten Trump elected. Okay, so Andy McCarthy's point in response is, okay, you're talking apples and oranges. What they said prior to the Obama meeting was, we've seen nothing to suggest the Russians hacked election machines, even though they tried in a couple of places, but that they were not able to do anything technologically that would have altered the outcome of an election with raw vote. Yeah. Then they have the Obama meeting, and then they come out, and it's true that their report that they issued then was all about the ways Russia did interfere, like fake articles about Hillary, bots that circulated negative news about her, and they hacked the DNC mail, which is how we have a lot of the admissions we have from her and her terrible family. Anyway, he's saying it's apples to oranges, and while she is producing now emails that do show they were ready to say no interference when it comes to election machines prior, that we kind of knew everything that she's saying already. I'm going to show you her announcement. I think we have it, guys, don't we? On Friday night. Yeah, Sat 9. Let's play it.
Spells out in great detail exactly what happens when you have some of the most powerful people in our country directly leading at the helm, President Obama and his senior-most national security cabinet, James Comey, John Brennan, James Clapper, and Susan Rice, and others, essentially making a very intentional decision to create this manufactured, politicized piece of intelligence with the objective of subverting the will of the American people. The list goes on and on about the consequences of President Obama and his senior cabinet members politicizing intelligence once again, and I say these words very clearly, to enact what was essentially a years-long coup, subverting the will of the American people.
One of the other points Andy made was that he's not a fan of Tulsi. He wasn't behind her confirmation. But he's also saying it's not a surprise to him that Tulsi Gabbard would try to exonerate Russia entirely and instead blame America, right? Like sort of say Russia didn't do anything whatsoever. And his point is she's overstating it. Russia did do some things, but it didn't cost Hillary the election. Andy doesn't contend that. But that we're now sort of manufacturing something for press clicks and possibly indictments that may not be there. Anybody want to take this?
I mean, look, I'll say this. I am with you. I'm not sure what she's doing, because I think what she's trying to argue is it wasn't determinative to the outcome. But there is no debate Russia tried to influence the election. As you say, they bought ads on YouTube. They bought ads on Facebook. They had chat bots. They hacked email. They wanted Donald Trump to win. Now, the question was, did the Trump campaign collude? Robert Mueller ruled there was no definitive proof that they colluded. But I'm not sure I almost get the sense that what she's saying is like, they didn't try to interfere in the election. And what's also fact is the Obama administration, the last month of the campaign, was aware of what was going on and struggled. Do they go public with this? Do they put it out? If we do, it's going to look like we're trying to tip the scales. After the election, they huddled and said, we need to get out, both as like a PSA, hey, Russia, you tried to do this and we're aware of it. And then they said, was there collusion? Was there perhaps something more there? I think that latter part they wanted to put out into the kind of, mainstream to be like, someone needs to go look at this, right? And obviously that enraged Trump, and he didn't want, he wanted everyone to know that he did this. But I'm not sure what she's implying. If there's real signs of crime or malfeasance, then by goodness, put it out and let the public see it. But I'm very skeptical.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. Have you looked at this? I mean, it's very smart people who I normally trust are in diametric disagreement on it.
If she sees a crime, she's got to say who and what law they broke. It's just too vague. I'll pick up on a point Dan made, which I know because I did a lot of reporting on this. They really did struggle with what to say. They didn't want to let the Russians go uncalled out in public, but they also didn't want to be accused of trying to make it seem like the Russians were doing something. They were pretending the Russians were doing something to help Hillary. I actually think there's 19 things you could list that say cost Hillary Clinton the election, and this is one of them. It was very close. You don't know what would have happened otherwise, but I think Russia helped Trump win substantially, not through collusion, but because they wanted Trump to win, and that is something she's playing down. What she's playing up is that they somehow broke the law in trying to protect Hillary Clinton. And again, I just
She's
don't see the
suggesting they
specifics.
manufactured it. She's basically suggesting this is the same thing as COVID, where the scientists went from, this looks like it came from a lab. We've never seen such a virus from an animal. And then after Fauci and Collins browbeated them, they came out and they were like, it's definitely not from a lab. It's from a pangolin.
There are people associated with Barack Obama who leaned into collusion, without a doubt. And that wrong. I don't know if it's against the law. It was dirty pool. But mostly what they said was the Russians interfered with the election, and they did.
I think this is a little bit of cosmic karma. Everything comes full circle because Tulsi was accused by Hillary Clinton and the Obamas, I believe, of being like a Russian asset. And then she went on The View and said she's owned by Russia. She's a Russian puppet. And Tulsi was coming out saying, I'm nobody's puppet. I've served this country. You know, I'm a woman in uniform, as she is, and she's a rock star. But yeah, no, I think this is a little bit of cosmic karma. She gets to now come out and say, ha, look at what we've just uncovered in these files. But I think it's Monday. Maybe by the end of the day, we'll have more information, because I read on the way over here, she's now given something to the DOJ or
She said it's going to come out this week. We're going to see leak.
I think it was weird Friday night to make the announcement with everything going on.
I know. Why? They put out news that's bad for them heading into a weekend after a holiday. Like, they put out news that's good for them on Friday night.
Hannity will be here Monday, so I don't know.
That might have been an Epstein circle.
I was just going to say.
Maybe.
Yes.
I'm not sure that's going to work either.
Oh, can you hear me? Hey,
Since President Trump was sworn in, his administration has made enormous progress at a...
First off, who was the gay Trump cosplay?
Yeah, I don't know, right? Who was that guy?
he was
waiting for you to say something on that.
He was fabulous.
Oh my God, he was.
I need to put more of that in my life right there. That was
Trump
great.
Cosplay conservative guy. I thought
that was that. I've never seen such a thing. That was fabulous.
And this is a political dork note for, I don't know if anybody, the guy sitting closest to Meghan is Mark Halperin. Okay.
I was curious. He seemed very knowledgeable on this.
Oh, he's he wrote a book called Game Change back about the 2008 election from like both sides, the McCain and Obama. And he was very, very like well-respected, the political, author or whatever. And I think he got woked or canceled because I think he like sexually or supposedly sexually harassed somebody or something like that. And then now he's on all the conservative networks, So that's what he's doing now. I like Mark Halperin a lot, by the way. His books are great, but he's very smart.
Interesting. So as I've been saying since all this Epstein stuff broke, they're going to do something. Something would happen. Something would come up to try to take the attention away from the Epstein debacle. Mm-hmm. Now, obviously, I predicted, something more Black Swan type, massive distraction event. I'm not saying the Trump administration would do anything that would kill Americans or anything like that. No 9/11 level type event. But I'm just saying there would be something to distract everybody. And I guess this is it. This is number one. Maybe they do more than just this. That's a good looking. I like that. I like that layout with us stacked like that with the comments. That looks good. So this is clearly, in my opinion, this is now. I want this to all be true. Let me be clear. I've always thought that they broke the law, and this is why she bleached her email and all that stuff. So I think all this ties back into that. But I will say this. It's tiring. All of this stuff we've been doing this since 2015, and it's exhausting. I didn't know that we were going to get this. I didn't have this on my bingo card in 2025, 9 years later. But I have to say that I'm glad if they're going to do something with it. And I don't care what a jury does. I don't care what the DOJ does, as long as they investigate it and they decide we're either going to follow through. If they follow through, let a jury do what they do. Innocent, guilty, a grand jury, they decide whatever. Let it run the process. Present the so-called evidence and let the people who decide make their decision. But let us know that, hey, we're taking this serious. We're going to show y'all that nobody's above the law. That's what we've heard for the last 8 years, 4 years especially. Nobody's above the law. Great. Let us see that. And if they're innocent, they're innocent. If there's not enough evidence to take it to trial, then so be it. I'm good either way. But I think the American public is so burnt out on these boy that cried wolf type things and these conspiracy theories and all of this political corruption that people just want to see something, right?
Yeah.
And I would think if you're on the other side, if you know you're innocent, so cool, run the investigation. Let the evidence show that this didn't happen the way y'all are saying it happened.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's interesting. I think it's a good thing to know. I would say I don't know so much about whether what she's saying in terms of like, is there criminal act? I'm not saying there couldn't be criminal actions. What I do know is this: obviously, Trump did not collude with the Russians. I mean, I think that's we know that. I mean, there was a 2-year investigation by Bob Mueller about that. We know that didn't happen. I would want to know, like, how did we get to the fact that they thought he was? You know what I mean? Like, what were the steps to that? And who contributed to those things, like to the fact that because obviously Bob Mueller said, and I read that. I mean, that's been dorky. I read the whole report. I mean, they just didn't have any evidence that made any sense that he colluded with the Russians. They had little things here and there that someone may have talked to somebody they didn't know was a Russian spy, that stuff like that. But there was no definitive. So it was just kind of more like inferences. Well, the Russians, we think, were helping Trump out, so he must have been working with them. And then, of course, he made that statement, something about like, "Hey, Russians, release her emails," which I think you could take as a joke. If you watched that thing back then, I think it was kind of, but I mean,
everybody got their panties in a wad about that one.
Yeah. So, I mean, I just want to know how like that whole process started if they didn't have any, because Bob Mueller was FBI director, U.S. attorney. I mean, the guy is a very well respected guy, and he doesn't find anything. So how do you get to the point that there's even? I mean, there has to be some. Whenever you start a criminal investigation, there's got to be some evidence that somebody did something. I mean, that's just the way they work. You just don't start investigating. Clay Edwards for conspiring with the Russians. There has to be somebody has to say something that Clay was talking to. Boris. And that's how but like, how did that get to that? How did where was point A? I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Sure. You're like, where, I mean, well, here's the thing that hurts them is they did make up the whole Crossfire Hurricane stuff, the PP
dossier, right? Yeah,
and all of that. And what was that illegal?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so it'll be interesting to see how this plays out. They don't get the benefit of the doubt, I guess, is what I'm saying.
Right. I get that. I mean, was the Steele? Now I always forget this, and I'm trying to look it up real quick. Was the Steele dossier initially commissioned by the Republicans in the primary against Trump? That's what I'm remembering it that way. It's been a long time since I looked.
No. It was by the Hillary campaign.
Okay.
It was proven that it was by the Hillary campaign. Now I can't get into the weeds of whatever with it, but I remember enough to know that it came out that it was 100% commissioned by the Clinton campaign.
Okay.
And maybe at the behest of Obama, I'm not sure, but I think that's kind of what they're insinuating with a lot of this stuff.
Well, I just looked it up. So apparently, it says it initially, in terms of research on Trump, started with not related to Russia, and did not involve Christopher Steele. They started doing, but that makes sense that the Republican opponents were going to do some sort of research on him. I mean, let's go get in our time machine here. In 2015, Jeb Bush was the front runner. At that time, I mean, he had raised all the money. He was the guy. I mean, so I'm sure they probably did research on each other, and whichever way, just like every other candidate does. And so maybe that's how that came to fruition. And that's kind of what that's saying here. Yeah. So because it's kind of hard to imagine that, but I remember reading, various news outlets at the time talking about Bush had so much money at the beginning. It really did. It was kind of seemed like a foregone conclusion that he was going to get the nomination until Trump came in there, torpedoed everything,
It was wild to watch. And I went into that. I've said this before, but I went into that election season as a Ben Carson guy.
Yeah.
I was not a Ted Cruz guy. I was a Ben Carson guy. And then Trump came like a wrecking ball out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And tore a hole in the space-time continuum when he came down that golden escalator with Melania, and the rest is history. The world ain't been the same since.
I've always said since that time that if you go back and watch the Republican primary debates, that's where he won the election. And the Hillary debates. I mean, he was really great in those too. But
sure,
those debates in 2015 to early 16, he just eviscerated those guys in a way that I've never really seen anybody do that to political, because like I guess it was such like unconventional strategy the way he did it. And it works, and it just killed. And like he pigeonholed everyone. It was Little Marco. We'll never forget it. And what was it called? Low energy Jeb. I mean, there was just a bunch of things. Lion Ted. Like he had this, and he just picked them apart. And it just got rid of all of them. The things the kids like to say? It was cinema. It was cinema. I mean, it was
cinema. It legitimately was.
Oh, and at one point he was talking about the size of his dick. I mean, do you remember that one with Marco? I mean, there
the hands like, hey, I ain't got small hands.
There's nothing to worry about, like
huge, huge hands.
It was something to see, I think, at that time, and it was such a different than what we're used to in political debates.
We live in the greatest timeline.
Yeah, it's interesting. For sure.
I mean, I had that tagline in the entrance of the radio shows. It was may the times you live in be interesting. We have accomplished that. We have 100%. That's the truest statement that I've ever said. We have absolutely accomplished living in the interesting timeline. Shaun, can you pull that video up? I've got queued up over here, and this is just a little LOL at 60 minutes. If all this does play out to be true, just tell me when to hit play.
Go ahead.
All right.
Watch him walk out of a store, and he's walking with an ice cream. And the media asks him, what kind of ice cream? What flavor ice cream do you have? And he's in the midst of a scandal.
He's not.
And he's taking,
He's
of course
not.
he is,
No,
Leslie.
come on.
Of course he is. It's the biggest, second biggest scandal.
So-
the biggest scandal was when they spied on my campaign. They spied on my
Well,
campaign,
there's
Leslie.
no real evidence of that.
Of course there is.
No.
It's all over the place. Leslie,
Sir,
they spied on my campaign and they got caught.
Can I say something? This is 60 Minutes, and we can't put on things we can't
No,
verify.
you won't put it on because
The absolute arrogance of this cunt.
it's bad for Biden.
We can't
Look, let me
put
tell
on
you.
things we can't verify.
Leslie, they spied
And-
on my campaign.
Well, we can't verify
It's been totally
that.
verified.
No.
It's been, just go down and get the papers. They spied on my campaign, they got caught.
No.
And then they went much further than that, and they got caught. And you will see that, Leslie, and you know that, but you just don't want to put it
No.
on the air.
As a matter of fact, I don't know.
Can you imagine arguing with the president and thinking you know more than him?
What year was that interview?
That was don't give me the line. It was pre 2020.
Okay. I mean, well, I'll give it. He's not wrong if you look at the history of that. I mean, there were FISA warrants on Carter Page at the time. That's part of the whole crossfire hurricane thing we were just talking about. So, I mean, I would consider that spying if you're going to get a FISA warrant on somebody that's working on the campaign.
Yeah, I just and then he went to jail, right?
I can't remember.
Prison. Yeah, he went to prison for no reason. I mean, for no reason. Yeah. So that clip just forever, just the arrogance. The same people who said they can't put things on 60 Minutes because they can't verify it, ran with PP Gate as if it was verified.
Yeah,
amongst everything else. I could go on and on and on, but it's just the hypocrisy is comical at this point. I mean, the way they just so, as Kim Wade would say, aggressive ignorance, just aggressively ignorant.
Yeah. But the PP Gate was a great story. I mean,
wanted it to be true.
It was.
Wanted it to be true. So bad.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Like the thought. I mean, the thought of it was. I mean, you could see Trump being into that kind of shit. I mean, you think about it.
I'm sorry, I can't see him banging hookers and all that. I mean, I know people want to vision that because they built him up to be this thing that he's not necessarily. It's just he's kind of they built him up to be a caricature of himself.
Yeah,
but I don't think he has to bang hookers. I mean, I think he can bang anybody he wants. He got a supermodel as a wife,
Right.
So I don't know that he has to bang, has to do hookers to pee on him in Russian hotel rooms. I mean, I get it. It's a fun story. I'm with you. I know what you're saying, but I mean, I just can't. It's got to be based in some reality for me, and I just can't fathom him putting himself in that position to get in trouble.
Yeah.
Like this Epstein birthday card thing. Right. I just can't see that. I can't see that being true. So, I don't know. So that's why that's going to sort itself out. If Gabbard has the evidence, I do think it's a good deflection. It's a way to kind of get the base back centered.
Well, I think Wall Street Journal helped out with that. I would say everything I've been reading that the birthday card story you just talked about helped with that. I think they've kind of circled the wagons on that one, which I mean, I know we're going to get into that, and there's a lot of interesting angles of that thing that I think are quite fascinating. But I think you've got some of the base is kind of getting back because they're thinking, okay, well, now we got the mainstream media is attacking him again with this birthday card story. And so it's kind of I think they did him a favor in a sense with that. The Wall Street Journal helped him out in that regard because it's pulled some of the base back in. That's what I think, at least over the last few days.
Right. And I'll be honest, that story was the headline and whatnot was so asinine, Shaun. I didn't even click on it. I haven't given that story a second thought. I was like, fake news, and I went on about my business.
Well, let me ask you this though, and this is going to be, and I've been trying to rack my brain on why this would happen if it's fake. Okay, and here's what I mean. Rupert Murdoch, we're talking about. Right? He's the guy, right? I mean, he's kind of like the mogul of conservative media. Why would
and him and Trump hate each other now?
Yeah, well, I'm sure they do now for sure. I mean, suing him for $10 billion. But why do you think Murdoch would allow his team to do that? That's where my rub is with the whole thing. Like,
just like
New York Times,
just like the other side wanted PP-gate to be true.
Yeah, but I mean, we're talking about like Trump's own side here, so that's where I'm getting my confused. If we're like the New York Times or CNN or MSNBC doing this, I think that would be the argument. But I'm just wondering what does Murdoch have to gain by allowing his staff to put that out?
I mean, are they? Well, it's not Rupert doing it anymore. It's his son who Rupert's retired.
Yeah, I mean, right. I mean, well, I think
and they don't. Yeah, and they don't get along. So, yeah, it's conservative on conservative crime, so to say. But these are these are very rich, powerful people who don't like each other.
Yeah, I mean, but do you think that but they're taking a heck of a risk by putting out something fake. If you can prove that it's fake, they're going to get lit up in that lawsuit. I mean,
well, so you're talking about the Wall Street Journal, right?
Yeah, the Wall Street Journal.
Yeah, well, so most people separate the Wall Street Journal from Fox News. I don't think it hurts Fox News, and I think that's the breadwinner.
Yeah,
I think most people don't know that Rupert Murdoch or the Fox owns Wall Street Journal.
Right. I mean, yeah, Murdoch owns Fox News, New York Post, Outkick. I mean, to me, it's a whole Murdoch media empire, right? I mean,
and most normies don't know that. So I don't know that it has the effect that people like us may think it has.
Yeah, I mean, but it's going to get out there. I mean, it's going to be that there's Murdoch, who owns all these conservative outlets, or that group allowed it. And that's where it's just kind of, I mean, or let's put it this way. If it's fake, then he's going to pay out a lot of money, right? I mean, that's what's going to happen if it's fake. And he's already done that with the Dominion stuff. Like, he paid out $785 million, like nearly $1 billion based on that Dominion voting stuff for the Fox News end of the business.
Sure.
So now, I mean, he's got to, him or Lachlan or whoever is, signed that out, then they're prepared to take on another huge hit and also to ruin their journalistic credibility forever. I mean, that's essentially what's going to happen. So I don't know. I'm just wondering what they have to gain by that.
Yeah, I mean, if it's true, prove it.
Yeah, I mean, and I was saying this earlier on the radio. I think Trump can prove it right now without. I mean, he can sue him, obviously. If he's right, he's gonna get money. But in the Wall Street Journal article, it says that it's in the DOJ files. That's where it was files reviewed by the Department of Justice and the FBI. Okay, well, order Pam Bondi to tell the DOJ, confirm whether this birthday card or this album is in your files.
Yeah,
you can do that today.
And to that, I'll say this: if it is in there, the most diabolical Trump derangement syndrome sufferers in the history of the world have been in office for the last 4 years, destroying Epstein evidence and planting Trump evidence in Epstein files to do all they can to sabotage Trump.
Okay, so you're saying
maybe the evidence is there, but I'm saying it's fake if it is.
Okay, so if it's there, but then they'd have to verify whether it's real somehow. I mean, handwriting expert or whatever.
Yeah, I think the Wall Street Journal would be clear from a lawsuit perspective if this evidence is there. But I'm saying that it's not real evidence. And I think it goes back to what Trump's been saying about releasing this stuff, is that these are files that were created by Obama, but the Obama regime. So that's the path he's taken, and that's the path I'm taking with it, because I don't believe that Trump is fucking little kids on Epstein Island and rolling with Epstein like that. I'm just I can't be any more clear about it when it comes to that from my personal opinion on this thing. And I think any evidence that points to to anything other than him not doing it is absolute bullshit.
Well, I don't
And
think it
as
existed.
we've discussed multiple times, if they had any real evidence that Trump was doing this, we would already know.
Yeah, but I mean, if the birthday card exists, it doesn't mean that he's a child molester, right? It just means they're buddies. I mean, that's kind of, I mean, he just sent his friend a birthday card.
Yeah, but it's some of the what it allegedly said, I thought was rather asinine.
Well, I mean, even if it said, okay, so like they're saying it said something about like every day is a great secret, something paraphrasing, but something to that effect.
Yeah.
Something. Okay. I mean, maybe they're talking about
insinuating that you would know what he's doing.
Yeah, I mean, and it also could mean like those guys were hanging out a bunch and running tail. Let's put it that way. I mean, that's what they were rich. They were doing. Trump was single. I mean, Epstein's single, right? And that's what they were doing. Maybe that's what they're talking about. They're just hooking up with a bunch of girls because they're rich, and I mean, nothing illegal about that.
Yeah.
I mean, it could have been what it meant, like they seem to be running the town. I don't think Trump, he was with Marla Maples in the 90s, and then they got divorced, and he didn't marry Melania, till the mid 2000s, something like that.
Yeah, I'm not sure on the timeline.
Something. I mean, so at that time,
I would feel like that would check out, early knots, if nothing else.
Yeah, so he was a single dude, hanging out with Epstein, and they were, I mean, running the town. I don't know. I mean, that's believable as well. That that happened. So I don't think the birthday card implicates him in child molestation or what I'm saying. Like I don't think it necessarily does that.
Well, I think that's the intent, though.
Well, yeah, I mean, absolutely, it's the intent. I'm just saying I don't think like it necessarily. I mean, there's a lot of people like Alan. So in the album, they also talk about other cards in there, which one was from Alan Dershowitz, the lawyer, and I mean, he says something. Les Wagner, whatever, the super rich guy. He says, I mean, he's got a lot of friends that are saying nice things about him for his 50th birthday. Is my point.
Sure.
So, and I don't know if they're all child molesters in the thing. That everybody that hung out with him was just doing kids. I think that's a little crazy to believe that too, right? I feel like that everybody was just into teenagers. I'm sure some people were, but I don't think everybody was. Now, Prince Andrew, I think we've got evidence that he definitely was because didn't they settle one of the cases and one of those victims? So, I mean, I think you got some evidence there, but barring him, I don't know anybody else. They've got anything that rock solid on doing the kids.
Now, Tammy's made a couple good posts here. She says Trump and Epstein were business partners. What were they business partners in?
I'm not sure. I don't know.
And I mean, I'm not saying it's not true. I'm just kind of curious. And she also says, and I thought this is a good point. She goes, Fox also protected Bush for years. There is right-wing propaganda. You have to really discern it, but it does exist. Oh, I agree. But look, that has been one of the toughest challenges for me as a conservative the last 5 years since I've started doing the radio show and doing what I do is removing myself from watching Fox News and watching and consuming right-wing propaganda and not realizing that it's propaganda. It's true. That's why I really do try to find creators that ride the fence. And I don't mean, you know what I mean? Not in a derogatory term, but people who can kind of call balls and strikes left of center and right of center, and aren't too knee deep in the weeds either way. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's a few people I follow who are hardcore right wing, and I mean but that's more for entertainment purposes than anything. But when I talk about legitimate news, I really try to follow creators that kind of that call balls and strikes, and that's why I like stuff like Breaking Points and shows like that. Right, I feel like I'm kind of getting left of center, right of center, and I can kind of discern my own opinion from that. So, yeah, as Tammy says, it's real estate is what they were business partners in. Yeah, I mean, I'm not like I don't know one way or another that to be true or false or whatnot, but just for the sake of arguing, it's true. It is what it is.
I know they had a falling out over a couple things. One was a real estate deal. I think Trump got some real estate around Mar-a-Lago or something, and that pissed Epstein off. And I think also there's some. Like Trump, I think, banned him from Mar-a-Lago for hitting on an underage employee. I think that's something that's been reported.
Is that what it was? I knew it was. Right. I didn't know if it was that or if it was just right around the time he got those charges, the first time around.
Yeah, it's right. It's around 2007. Trump reportedly banned Epstein after allegedly propositioning an underage daughter of a club member. So that's been reported before.
Yeah, well, good. And I think it's stuff like that. It's the resume that lets you feel rather comfortable backing Trump in this.
And that's what I'm saying. So like, I guess that's why I'm like, you and I have talked about this before. I don't necessarily think Trump was doing kids, right? But I think if the birthday card exists, it doesn't mean that. I mean, like, I just don't think it means that. It just means they're like, I think maybe he doesn't want everybody to think that they were buddies. Then, of course, that means everybody thinks he's doing kids. I mean, that's what, you just said too. Like, that's the implication. People think because they're friends, they're into the same hobbies or whatever,
Yeah, well, and I think that goes, let's pretend that the birthday card is real for the sake of arguing. I think this goes back to how bad it makes them look by hiding or refusing, coming out and saying this whole Epstein debacle. I don't have to rehash it, which, for lack of a better term, the Epstein debacle the last few weeks. Now it makes anything that where they can associate Trump or any of his allies to Epstein look a million times worse than it is, because now it looks like they're protecting Trump or others.
Right.
So so anytime something comes out and then they run to defend it and so on and so forth, it's a bad look. It is. I mean, either way, whether the birthday card exists or not, with Trump and them playing this weird game they're playing with the Epstein files or the Epstein list, whatever you want to call it, it makes everybody question if it's, well, maybe it is real. What are you hiding? Why were you sending him a birthday card? Are you into this same shit he was into? It's a bad look, and it does create doubt. But I'm riding with my guy, because I've ridden with him for a long time, and I've been right all the way, in my opinion. So, every time that it looked like, oh, this is what they got him, this is it, they got him. Fake news again. So I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt until I'm proven wrong.
Yeah, I mean, like even so then in response to the birthday card, then he tells Pam Bondi to release the grand jury transcripts. But to me, that's just more of a, like, it's going to make him look worse in the long run, because that's just not going to show anything, the grand jury testimony, because it's just the FBI, just be like 60 pages. It's not going to tell you anything. It's just going to be directed towards Ghislaine Maxwell and Jeffrey Epstein, not this client list. So I think when that gets released, if the judge even allows it to be released, it's not going to really show you anything.
And so I was just so busy last week. There was only so much I was able to do, but they said that the Republicans are blocking Maxwell from testifying.
I've seen some of that. Right.
Who are these Republicans that are blocking this?
I don't know. I'm not exactly sure. I saw that there were because okay, there's this theory that
what would be the point? I mean, like, I need this. This is something I would like to unpack. I mean, and again, I'm saying this without having dove into it at all. I could have Googled it, I guess, but it makes for good conversation. So I'll just do it here.
Right. No, speaking of that, so I was watching Breaking Points. They were breaking down this whole Epstein birthday card and all that stuff. And one of the things that Sagar had to say was, so there's two theories about the card. Okay. One of the theory is that someone from DOJ took a picture of it and leaked it to the Wall Street Journal, which seems like the most likely scenario. The second
razor.
Right. That's what happened. The second one is that this is coming from Maxwell. And because I didn't know this until I watched it, apparently Maxwell was under the impression that she was going to get a pardon from Trump once he was elected, and that she's kind of doing this because she's like, hey, I got more where this comes from, kind of thing, like threat, which seems a little bit more fantastic in my mind. Like that's really it. Also, I don't see how Trump could possibly pardon Maxwell. I think that would, you talk about people getting stirred up about something, that would cause.
I mean, that's just like the alleged the so-called Derek Chauvin pardon that people were talking about. Well, yeah, okay, even if he does it, the state charges aren't going anywhere, and he's going to stay in jail. And I just don't think he would ever take the hit to pardon Chauvin. And this Maxwell would be a bazillion times worse.
Yeah, I mean, it would be.
And there's no state charges, so theoretically they could pardon her and her get out, I guess.
Sure,
it was federal, but it ain't happening. But I'm still curious because everybody kept saying the Republicans are blocking this. What Republican? I want to see this so-called list of Republicans who are blocking her from. I mean, is it Michael Guest? I mean, who's blocking this?
Well, what I'm hearing here, I just Googled it real quick. So Speaker Mike Johnson and GOP leadership opposed bringing it to a vote regarding arguing that they preferred executive branch action over congressional mandates related to Maxwell's testimony. But it was part of a bill that had to do with like a crypto, they attached it to like a crypto spending bill. So, and that seems to be like where that's coming from, according to what I'm reading.
So, and this is just my ignorance. So it has to have a bill to get somebody to testify in Congress?
yeah, I would think you just need a subpoena. Like Congress can issue a subpoena to Maxwell and say, and then get some sort of immunity, because I mean, she's still got her case on appeal. So I think she would need, an immunity stuff for whatever testimony she was gonna give, and they could do that. And so I don't see why they won't do that. I mean,
that's a lot, man. It really, really is. Shout out to everybody in the comments, man. I see y'all's comments. We're just knee deep in conversation. We will circle back and read some comments. I do want to address one though. Alex makes a good point here, and he's like, so if anyone was friends with Diddy and you get a birthday card, then automatically you're a bad person, correct? Same thing. I'm sure a bunch of Democrats have a card from Diddy. Well, I will say, just calling balls and strikes. Diddy wasn't guilty of any of the worst things.
Yeah,
but I guess neither was. Well, I'm gonna say neither was Epstein, but kind of was. I thought, I don't know.
Yeah, he killed himself.
I get the. I agree with. I know what Alex is saying, and I do agree. All right, Shaun, you got anything else on this?
No, I mean the only thing. I think what could happen with Maxwell is Congress can issue a subpoena and give her an immunity deal, and apparently some Republicans I'm reading here are expressing support for that. So I think that would open up a lot of things, if some transparency, if you got Maxwell in front of a congressional, committee to testify to this under an immunity arrangement. I think a lot of people would. So I think that's, that maybe that's what the base should be clamoring for now. Get Maxwell in front of there and see what she's got to say. Now, I mean, it could be bullshit. I mean, she could, who knows?
Well, I do want to correct you a little bit there. I don't think this is well beyond the base. I think there's a lot of people well beyond the base that want to see this, right?
Yeah, well, now it's become it's expanded beyond MAGA.
This is cinema now, Shaun.
Yeah, it's entertaining for everybody. I mean, I remarked to somebody that this has become like the Monica Lewinsky thing in the late 90s. I mean, there's something every day, and that lasted like 18 months. So like, how long is this going to keep on going and going? Who knows? I think it's going to keep on going and going until Trump says, here's all the files, here's back everything you want, here you go. This is far, you know what I'm saying?
I agree. This needs to come to an end, but we got to keep talking about it till it does. As much as tired as I am of it, I'm not tucking my tail on this. All right, Shaun, speaking of files, they released the MLK Jr. files against the family's wishes, but I don't think the family should have any say-so in it. I mean, I understand them, wanting to keep his infidelity and all that secret and protect his legacy and all that. But at the end of the day, I mean, he was banging a couple of hookers in that hotel before he got killed. I don't know. This doesn't change my opinion on the good he did.
Yeah. I think, if you're in the weeds enough to want to read the MLK files, then you already know about his sexual habits. You know what I mean? If you're in the weeds enough where you're looking at the MLK files, then
does this change anybody's opinion on him? I mean, really? The rumors have been persistent for years about his infidelity and whatnot. I mean, this doesn't change. Like, I don't think any less or more of him either way or the other. I think he was a complicated individual, like most great men are. He was a man of his time, as we like to say. I think that sword can swing two ways there. It was not that infidelity was more acceptable then, so maybe the man of the time thing isn't necessarily the right thing to say there, or the right analogy. But look, he's a complicated individual that had a interesting personal life and a destructive personal life, but also did wonders for the civil rights movement. So you have to take the good with the bad. I mean, I think we can kind of say the same things about Trump, right? I mean, he's a complicated individual with his personal life, with the infidelity and other things, and the porn star stuff, and we can go on and on and on and on. I can't sit there and not be a hypocrite. I would be a hypocrite. So if I sat there and wagged my finger at MLK Jr. and then I didn't do the same thing for Trump, so I can just sit there and say I can compartmentalize their personal lives from what they've accomplished professionally.
Yeah, I mean, and it's not just them. I mean, if you look through history, that's a lot of them. John F. Kennedy, and other files are being released. I mean, that's infamous, how his infidelity. FDR, same thing. I mean, it was just LBJ. Like, this is not uncommon among powerful men in these positions. And I don't think it takes away from anything FDR did or LBJ or JFK or MLK or anything or Trump or whoever. It's just this is who they were. Unfortunately, I mean, they weren't. It's hard to live up and be perfect. There's only one perfect man, right? And that's Jesus. As far as I know, there's like one perfect person that I've ever heard of.
Right.
And perfect.
Nurse J says Rumble isn't working again. I just checked. Rumble is working just fine. Thank you, though. So maybe a bad connection on your end or something, Nurse J. But I did check. Rumble is working just fine. That's what I was doing just there. Yeah, no, Shaun, I agree with you. It's just they're complicated, but I don't have a problem with the files being out. I think they should be. I mean, I think if that, again, I think that's more of a distraction. It means a whole lot less now with the Epstein files not coming out. I think that it just all feels like a distraction now.
Yeah, it's like they're just throwing everything like what I used to call when I was a prosecutor, the spaghetti defense, when they throw out every kind of thing that you could think of in defense to muddy the water. So that's kind of like what it feels like right now. I did listen to, speaking on that same vein about, since we're talking about the 1960s, the JFK files, MLK, I listened to RFK Jr. on Tucker a few weeks ago, which was a really good interview. And he was talking about his dad's assassination. And there were just things I didn't really know about it. I didn't realize that he was shot in the back, like that was the shot like that they were explaining. I looked it up and that was right. And it was really interesting. It was like, it doesn't seem like there could be this Sirhan guy that got convicted for it. And that's a rabbit hole I've never gone down, but I was listening to RFK. I'm like, figured he'd know. I mean, it's his dad. He's talking about it. Then I looked it up and he was absolutely right. There was, there was more bullets than Sirhan's 8-shot revolver could hold that they found, or, shell casings or whatever it was. And the fatal shot was 1 to 3 inches behind RFK's ear. Well, Sirhan was in front of him. So how the hell did somebody shoot him behind the ear, And this is an autopsy. And I don't know. This is stuff I found it interesting because I never heard any of that before. And RFK was telling Tucker about it, and I was like, I feel like somebody should have looked into this, They should have gone down this. I mean, they should have worked harder on this. I mean, they let this Sirhan guy take the fall for this, He was like, well, I mean, obviously he was involved, but
sure,
there were other people there for sure.
All right, so just to clarify, other people are confirming that they're having trouble with Rumble. Apparently, it's going in and out. Yeah, look, we're always going to send the stream to Rumble. What happens with the Rumble stream is going to be on Rumble, but I do appreciate everybody that tunes in on Rumble. That's why I send it there, because a couple hundred people end up listening to all these or watching these on Rumble. So it's well worth the effort to send the streams there. But maybe it's their servers are having trouble. This time of night is a big high traffic time for Rumble. So maybe a little small channels like ours aren't very high up the pecking order for how much bandwidth they allow us over there. So I apologize, but thank y'all for flipping over to Facebook or YouTube or wherever you're consuming it at. Yeah, so that's interesting. I need to go back and listen to that. I knew he was on there and I didn't check it out, but I've just heard so much, and over the last year of all of it, I've been kind of detoxing a little bit from some of it. But today was the 1-year anniversary of Biden dropping out of the race.
I saw that just like an hour ago. I didn't remember that. God, it's been a fast year.
I remember we were doing this a year ago today, talking about this. I mean, maybe it was on the radio, but either way, I mean, we were live talking about it, and it was just big news. I mean, like, again, it goes to think about what went on in like that few week span this time last year. Trump getting shot, the debate debacle, Biden dropping out, Kamala getting shoehorned in there. Just everything that happened in such a short amount of time was just insane. Last July was one for the history books. We'll look back in 20, 30, 40, 50 years. Well, we won't be here, but people will look back and be like, holy shit, it was wild in America in 2024, July of 2024.
Yeah, I mean, it was it's definitely the wildest presidential campaign of my lifetime that I can remember, probably most people's lifetimes.
Sure.
I always thought the 2000 election was the most, contentious, but it ain't got nothing on last year.
No.
I mean, that's just, that was something of a kind for sure. I don't know that anybody saw that coming at once.
And it's numbed me. to so much other stuff that's happened since then.
Mm-hmm.
Like this story with the FISA documents and like all this stuff. It's like so much crazy happened that it's I don't think it's made taking some of these other big stories and some of the other things going on. They're just like, okay, yeah, cool. It's just par for the course now. And you think back, I mean, like all the riots in LA and across the country with the No Kings and the immigration blowback and just the ICE stuff. I mean, that's gotten a lot of traction. And I'm not saying they're not huge stories, but just like my reaction to them hasn't been like, oh my God, I must sit home and watch this. I mean, even though I did do that, but still it was just par for the course. It wasn't like, oh my God, we're seeing history unfold here. Like, no, last July was history. This is just another chapter.
Yeah. No, I mean, yeah, it was definitely something else. Just events that you didn't really, well, I guess some of them you could see coming. I mean, I think, not the shooting, obviously, but Biden's condition, I mean, definitely on the right, you guys were calling out for a really long time, even though the left was hiding that as much as they could, obviously, even though now they go back and write books about it, which is, I've read both of them, and it's kind of funny to me. Like, well, here's, like Jake Tapper, especially.
Oh, what a grifter.
And so, yeah, they're just, they're grifting on the whole thing so pretty hard. Like, oh, we just, well, we didn't really know. I'm like, come on, man. I mean,
have you had a chance to listen to any of this Hunter Biden interview?
I just saw a couple headlines. I haven't got a chance to really.
I've seen a Salty Cracker did a video about it, and I've just heard a couple of clips. First off, I don't know what platform it was on, but it was a whole lot of uncensored cussing on it. And he talked about going to war with El Salvador.
Oh, really?
If he was president, he would go to war with El Salvador. He accused. Dude, it was wild. Let's see if we can find a couple of clips of it real quick. I don't know who thought it would be a good idea to put an unhinged Hunter Biden in front of a camera, but thank you.
Sounds like a great idea. What are you doing? I mean,
yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know who thought it would be a good idea for the Democrats because he torched them.
Yeah,
but he went scorched earth on everybody. He's very bitter.
Yeah, he's pretty mad about the whole situation. I don't really. Is it sit down with Andrew somebody? Yeah, I got a clip here.
I just typed it into X and there's a bunch of he's high as fuck too, by the way.
He looks like it. Hold on, I got this one, looks pretty good. Let me see if I can
go ahead.
Put this in here. This is okay. Here we go.
Mr. Bubble X, nice to meet you too the other day, brother. Appreciate everybody. Look at that look on his face right there.
Fuck him and everybody around him. I don't have to be fucking nice. Number one, I agree with Quentin Tarantino. Fucking George Clooney is not a fucking actor. He is a fucking, I don't know what he is. He's a brand. And by the way, and God bless him. You know what? He supposedly treats his friends really well. You know what I mean? Buys them things. And he's got a really great place in Lake Como. And he's great friends with Barack Obama. Fuck you. What do you have to do with fucking anything? Why do I have to fucking listen to you? What right do you have to step on a man who's given 52 years of his fucking life to the service of this country and decide that you, George Clooney, are going to take out basically a full-page ad in the fucking New York Times to undermine the president at a time in which, by the way, what do people care about the most? Why do you think that the Republicans have an advantage over us? Because they're unified. They will go along with anything. I wasn't asking anybody to go along with anything. I was asking people to go along with this. The most successful administration in my lifetime. And I'm including the Obama administration, I'm including the Reagan administration, I'm including every administration in my lifetime. We have gotten more done for the agenda of the things that your generation and my generation cared about than any president in history. And we didn't get it all done, but more than anybody else with the slimmest majority ever. And everybody said that there's no way that he's ever going to be able to do that. And you know what George Clooney did? Because he sat down, I guess, because he was like given the blessing by the Obama team or the Obama people and whoever else, and David Axelrod and whoever the fuck else, is to go, okay, yeah, you know what? We are going to insert our judgment over yours. Me and James Carville, who hasn't run a race in 40 fucking years, and David Axelrod, who had one success in his political life, and that was Barack Obama. And that was because of Barack Obama, not because of fucking David Axelrod. And David Plouffe, and all of these guys, and the Pod Save America guys, who were junior fucking speechwriters in, on Barack Obama's Senate staff, who have been dining out on the relationship with him for years, making millions of dollars. The Anita Dunns of the world, who's made $40-50 million off the Democratic Party. They're all going to insert their judgment over a man who has figured out, unlike anybody else, how to get elected to the United States Senate over 7 times, how to pass more legislation than any president in history, how to have a better midterm election than anybody in history, and how to garner more votes than any president that has ever run. And they're going to replace their judgment for his.
First off, full stop. I take back everything bad I've ever said about Hunter Biden. That was the minute we get done, I'm going to watching that whole thing.
Yeah. Like, that's a mess, man.
Oh my. I had not heard any of those parts of it yet.
No.
Wow.
Man, he's on a roll there. God bless.
Biden must be completely when I say Biden, I mean Joe must be completely incapacitated. They have taken the guardrails are off of Hunter.
I mean, they're just like, that was not I mean, I guess it doesn't matter for the Bidens anymore, but I mean, but you don't want Hunter to be your ambassador, really, do you? I mean, you're like, hey, we're gonna have Hunter here come talk about how we got screwed. Okay.
I mean, yeah. Look, I'll say he's not wrong about a lot of the stuff he said about the people who are riding the coattails of Obama and whoever else. But that's what political people do. I mean, they ride the coattails of the people of their success stories. I mean, that's what. Who is he to talk about somebody riding somebody's coattails?
Right? Yeah. It's like, I can't believe people are riding coattails. They're like, oh, while he got the gas board job, based on his expertise.
Yeah, and how he got his pardon.
Yeah, I mean, he was. I mean, that's pretty funny. Like, I can't believe these. James Carville, that's unfair. Like, well, at least James Carville actually ran the campaign and did something. I mean, at least I know it was one campaign, but he did win. And I don't know that Hunter's really ever done anything in his whole life except, bang his dead brother's wife. I mean, I hate saying that, but that's like that's one of the most messed up stories I've ever heard. And then back when it was going on, they asked Joe and Jill, and they were like, "Oh, we're accepting this." And I'm like, I remember thinking, this is like maybe his first year in office, or I don't even know if he got elected yet, actually, when they were dating. Oh no, they hadn't. Yeah, I think it was like his last year as vice president. Yeah. And he were asking him how he felt about the relationship with, Bo's widow. And he's like, "Oh, we are accepting." You think any father would have been like, "Look, son, you can date whoever the fuck you want, but you ain't dating her." You know what I mean?
Also, and the whole situation of him being high on crack and throwing the gun in the garbage can and all that stuff. That story is told by the media like it happened in his early 20s. He was 50 years old when that shit happened.
Right, exactly.
This wasn't but like 10, 12 years ago. It wasn't that long ago.
I tell you what, the happiest people about Hunter Biden are Roger Clinton. Like,
oh yeah,
or Billy Carter, like the presidential brothers that like were screw ups, like that. They love Hunter. They're like, man, nobody can remember us ever. Like nobody. Yeah. I bet you now you ask people who's Roger Clinton, nobody knows. Like nobody knows who he is.
Alex said, "What in the Saturday Night Live is that?" And that's exactly the vibes I was getting from the way the interviewer looked to Hunter doing. It felt like a skit.
Yeah, it really did. I mean, he definitely was.
That's what made it so great.
No. Well, maybe he can turn it. Maybe he'll actually have a career. He'd get a reality show or something, out of this. So, that would be that would be something.
Paging Dave Portnoy. Please get a camera crew with Hunter Biden. Stat.
Yeah, I mean, oh god, that's have them on Outkick or something. That would be.
Yeah, I mean, put it on one of the uncensored outlets. People who aren't gonna cover any of it up, but just let him be him. Just put a mic and a camera in front of Hunter and let him rip.
Oh yeah, it's worth it. I mean, like, he might. Hunter should do a TikTok, right? I think he makes money from that.
Does he?
TikTok? No, I'm saying he should. TikTok.
Oh yeah. Well, I don't know. I mean, he may get banned quicker than me.
Yeah.
My goodness, that was excellent right there.
I mean, well, what else is he going to do, Clay? Now, I mean, his dad's not president. He's not going to, behold any elective office. So I don't know what, Hunter Biden's name is not. There's not a lot of currency to that anymore. So he's kind of.
He's got his pardons and it doesn't do anything. It's not politically advantageous. I just love that he went after Democrats. I mean, we sit here today and the Democrat Party is an absolute shit show, and they can't get out of their own way. But I still predict that they'll get 80 million votes. I don't care who, 83, 84 million votes come 2028. I mean, there's still going to be 50% of the country that's going to vote Democrat, no matter who the candidate is. And that's what makes all this so interesting,
Yeah. I mean, I think, I mean, they're obviously in a big problem. I think what their congressional rating is like the lowest in history or something. I can't remember what the number. It was really bad. I saw it the other day. I think he's mad at the Democrats because, the Republicans really didn't really screw Hunter over. I mean, the Democrats kind of took Joe out. But the problem with that really is it's kind of like convenient for them to blame. What they should have done is blame the people around them and themselves. I read both books about it, and it was like Hunter and Jill were hiding Joe. They knew he was messed up. They knew he was messed up.
He admitted somewhere in this interview that Joe was on prescription medication during the debate.
Yeah. So there you go.
Shocker. He's 80 years old, 80-something years old. Of course, he was on some type of prescription medication. We all knew these things. I don't know why people always act like the president being on some type of prescription medication is a reason for him to have to step down. Like, remember in House of Cards, like the president that Frank replaced, I guess they found out he was on some kind of anxiety medicine or something, so he had to step down as president. What a weak ass reason to have to step down as president. But that's how they treat it. I was like, whatever. Everybody's on some kind of pill. Not everybody, but a large portion of society are on some kind of pill. I don't care what the president is. I really don't. What I'm more concerned about, what is the pill for? What
is it, a crazy pill or a blood pressure?
Yeah,
like which one is it?
Let's just be honest. The more I know about politicians now than I did, say, 4 years ago, after I've been around so many of them, is I would be shocked if you showed me one that wasn't on some type of crazy pill.
Yeah, that's I don't think that's, but just like you see this week, they were making there was like a new picture of Trump and his like vein disorder, or whatever it's called, right? In which, if you read into it, it's like just a common thing old people get. It's not life threatening or anything. But if you look at the pictures there, where it's like, oh my God, did you see his hand? Like they're like all these. Did you see that? Like all the big hullabaloo they were making about Trump's vein condition.
Well, yeah, about his legs being swollen or something. Oh, it was breaking news on every app on my phone, from local to national.
Yeah.
Where was all the breaking news about Biden?
Well, that's what I just thought it was funny. It's like, here's his vein condition. I'm like, it seems like a very common thing old people get. At least when I read into it. But
yeah, it was the same thing. Obviously, it did pique my interest.
Yeah.
Sure. Well, let me check. And the Daily Beast, I'll give them credit. It's the Daily Beast that I like, right? The Democrat one. The one that I find entertaining. Yeah, the Daily Beast. It said a geriatric. They had some kind of headline. It was like geriatric condition.
Yeah.
Like they had to take their shot after all the Biden shots. I got a chuckle out of it when I was driving down the road. I was like, geriatric condition. I was like, oh, too fair game, because we gave them hell on the other side. So I would do it too.
And in their article about Hunter's thing right now, I actually pulled it up, is Hunter reveals Biden was on prescription drugs during debate. So of course
it was them that I saw that from, actually. But I'm not paying $30 a month anymore for them, so I haven't been reading their stuff. But I do get the headlines.
Yeah, that's what it said. So that's a good headline. It's not that Hunter's completely. My headline would have been, Hunter's completely freaking nuts. Watch this. That's what the line. Everybody watch this. I don't
need a single quote from it. Just, holy shit, Hunter Unhinged. Sign me up. How much? That was pay-per-view worthy.
Yeah, that was good. Hunter can make some money off this. That's it. He should go to Fox News. Like Hannity should have him on, because that would be entertaining.
Apparently him and Tucker used to be neighbors.
Oh yeah, they're buds.
And that's where he needs to go, is Tucker. I would love to hear that at this point.
Yeah, he wrote Tucker's son like a recommendation letter for college. They were big buds.
Yeah, and they're not anymore, my understanding.
Probably not, but at one time they were good friends. So Tucker got the. All these guys are friends. When they're like, I wasn't shocked when I read that. Oh wow, he got a. But also, like, I did think about this when I read that. Like, what is the Hunter Biden recommendation letter? Maybe people didn't know about Hunter's condition or issues then.
Yeah, it's like, oh, it's the vice president's son recommends them, you know?
Oh, I mean, that's what
like,
it is.
Like, how big of a rat race is it that Tucker Carlson needs a recommendation letter from somebody?
Yeah, his kid needs
and that Hunter Biden's the one that puts it over. And now, granted, we didn't know then what we know now, in fairness of that.
Yeah. I mean,
the whole laptop debacle hadn't come out. And that's another thing we hadn't even mentioned in all this. The same people that covered up the laptop and all that, these are the same people saying that this FISA thing's a nothing sandwich.
Oh, is it? Okay. Well,
you know, a lot of the, like the lot of the mainstream media not even covering this whole thing. So it's hard to take some of it serious. It's hard to take them serious when they say stuff because of the things that they've not covered or lied about and whatnot. So, oh man, maybe one day. You know what? Honestly, I hope they continue to not do it, Shaun, because that's what it creates a market for us. And I know we talked about this last week on the show. The more that the lamestream media continues to pretend these things aren't happening, or they continue to only tell one side of the story, regardless of which one it is, the left wing or the right wing, it creates an opportunity for us to sit here and do exactly what we're doing with an audience. So screw them.
Yeah, right. I mean, that's kind of that's where they are.
There's enough independent outlets that we can get these stories from, and we can sit here and we can discuss them from our different perspectives. And with Lindsey when she's here, and folks are entertained. And at the end of the day, we're in the attention business, and however we get it, I'll take it. If people are feeling like they're getting it from other places, that means they're probably not going to come here and get it. So I'll take it however we can get it.
I doubt they got that Hunter Biden clip a lot of other places, except on YouTube probably, but not on WLBT.
No,
you're not going to see that.
It's disappointing. It's disappointing that there's so many F-bombs in there, because there's no way I can play that on the radio.
No, that's unfortunate.
It's like, that would be radio gold, as Jameson Haygood would say.
Well, the problem with crack, though, it doesn't really make you watch your language.
No, he's high. He's high as a kite in that.
Yeah, he's pretty high. I don't know what it is, but it's something. He's got.
He's on some type of amphetamine.
Yeah, there's several things. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if we got a notice of a Hunter Biden heart attack in a year or two.
Next 48 hours. I mean, like, I don't know if there's anybody left in control of the Democrat murder apparatus, but the Democrat murder industrial complex that keeps ending up with people dead. But Hunter needs to be on the lookout. He needs to sleep with one eye open, because he just went full scorched earth on the entire apparatus.
Maybe George Clooney will go after him. That could be he seemed to be fine with old George there.
That's funny. But he was not wrong about anything he said about George there. I mean, from his perspective.
I mean, George grifted, if that's what you mean. Because look, if Biden had not messed up at that debate, George wouldn't have said shit. You know what I mean? He wouldn't have said anything. If Biden had aced that debate, George wouldn't have said anything.
True.
I mean, he would have said a word about it.
That's a great point. Shaun, you got any other stories for us?
I did see one more. This will be short. Is Theo Huxtable died today. I was upset about that.
I know. So our group text with Fred, we talked about that, and I was pulling up there to core therapy to get the cryo stuff and the red light, and I was walking in and got that notification. That really did hit. I had to take a double take at my phone. I was like, "Damn, really?
Yeah,
drowned? Is that what I saw?"
Yeah, drowned. I don't. It said he drowned while swimming in his, I guess in Costa Rica. Maybe he was in the ocean. I assume, obviously. Yeah, he was in Costa Rica. And high current in the water. That's what it's saying right here. That sucks.
That's sad. That's a hell of a way to go.
That's a hell of a way to go. The speaking of, you brought up Core. I think I texted you Saturday. I went to Core, and who walked in? Old John Horn.
Walked in. Really?
Yeah. When I was sitting right there, I was like, "Oh, it's Mayor Jackson coming to Core."
Oh, I missed that. I mean, I was so knee deep in it Saturday at the extravaganza that there's probably a ton of missed texts to my phone. I need to go back and read.
Yeah,
I'm like you when you're asleep and you wake up to text, you just ignore them. They didn't happen. Yeah. That's kind of what happened to me Saturday. I saw them and I've cleared the notifications, but I don't know what I missed.
Yeah, I was sitting there at the chair doing the little oxygen therapy, and then he just walked on in. I was like, "Oh God, look!" I said, "That's kind of cool." I said, "I like the mayor more now that he's coming to Core."
Yeah, that's funny. JPD followed me on Facebook today.
Oh, did they?
Yeah. I thought that was kind of funny after calling them out over that whole four-wheeler wreck. Their asinine comment, we don't know what caused the wreck. There was a four-wheeler on the road at 4 a.m.
Yeah,
that's what caused the wreck. It doesn't matter who ran a red light, who did what. No accident recreation needed. I hate it because I know one of the guys, not the guy that got killed, but I know the guy that got hurt that's still alive. I mean, really sad situation. They were security guards at Pops. It was going on a store run, and nothing, not even your typical Jacksonian riding an ATV on the streets doing dumb shit. They were just doing something real minute, and it sucks, man. I hate it. But anyway, without jumping down that rabbit hole, it just anyway, JPD followed me today. That's all I got to say. I was looking here.
Not while you were drinking, so that's good.
Yeah, exactly.
They weren't behind you that.
WWT does have a story here. It says a man accused of attempted rape and kidnapping deemed extreme danger to female citizens of Jackson. In another Captain Obvious statement of the day, it says, a man received a $2 million bond after being accused of attempted rape and attempted kidnapping during a municipal court appearance on Monday. 33-year-old Raiden Smith was charged with crimes. The female victim was walking down Woodrow Wilson when Smith allegedly stopped his vehicle and attacked her. He was arrested on July 18th. Judge says Smith is an extreme danger to the female citizens of Jackson. Yeah, have you seen that video going around of the I don't remember what, it was an immigrant, maybe from El Salvador or something like that just grabbed a woman, I think in Texas, and there's video of him. He snatched her up off the street and took her into his mobile home compound and tortured her for a few days.
I didn't see that one.
Yeah, it's been floating. It's been making the rounds today. I think he was from Puerto Rico or El Salvador, somewhere in South America. Maybe it was Haitian. I don't remember anyway. But that's kind of puts off those vibes, man. A woman just walking down the road and somebody stopping and snatching them up. I mean, people still do that in this day and age. That's wild.
I did see just before we came online the cop in the Breonna Taylor case got sentenced. Did you see that?
No, I missed that.
Yeah, just he got 3 years, I think, for I don't remember exactly violating her civil rights or something. If that's right.
Maybe so. I mean, I followed that for a little while, but it was another one of those that it was so polarizing that everybody made their mind up what happened, and it is what it is.
Yeah. So I don't know a whole lot about it. I just saw that he got 33 months, which was more than what the recommendation was, like 1 day. So it was a little more excessive than 1 day.
Yeah.
But I don't remember the whole facts around that case, man. I would be honest with you, but I just did see that before.
Well, they pulled a kick dough on the wrong house.
Yeah, that part I remember, just the basic, right?
And they shot. And the boyfriend got to shooting, and they got to shooting back, and they killed him and her, or they killed her.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's what ended up happening. I think the boyfriend fired the first shot, and then why would you fire a shot when they were hollering police? But I think he thought there was some goons there to get him or something.
Yeah,
or they were at the wrong house, and just it sucks. And that apparently happens more often than people think.
Mm-hmm.
The police kicking in the wrong door.
Yeah. There was that one case around the same time where I think she thought she was going into the cop thought she was going to her own apartment, and then she was went into somebody else's and shot the guy. Remember that one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember that one too.
And so I guess that happens. I don't know.
Well, what was the guy that played football? Jim Kelly's nephew played football at Ole Miss.
Chad Kelly. And when he was in Denver, he went into the wrong apartment and got shit-faced drunk, got on the couch or got in the bed with somebody or something. Yeah, I think wasn't a real story, like he was messing with that lady. I thought I heard that.
Oh, is there a more to the story?
I thought I remember hearing that. I don't know if it's true or not, but there's some more to that story than what was reported, is what I was told.
Was it?
I don't know if that's true, but that's what I heard. I mean,
I would like to know that. I would like to know that that's the case.
Whatever happened to him? Did he just never stay in the league, I guess?
Did he end up in Canada, maybe? Or the XFL? I think he ended up in Canada.
Okay. I couldn't remember. He just he was really good in college, and then we just never kind of, he had several issues though.
Yeah, he was good, and he was good in college. I mean, he was a Hugh Freeze quarterback, right?
Right.
Freeze was the coach there when he was QB. Yeah, he was great in college.
Mm-hmm.
Ole Miss has had some really good quarterbacks, but those guys just have not transitioned to the league well.
No, I mean, well, except for
other than Eli, of course. I think the new guy, I think the current guy, one that just got drafted,
Jackson Dart. Yeah,
Dart. I think Dart's going to be good.
Yeah, he picked by the Giants. All right, got picked by the Giants. I think. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that'll be interesting. Well, I mean, heck, we're the season's just upon us. I mean, camp starts next week, I think. Yeah. So.
It always starts in August around my birthday. That's what preseason is. The preseason kickoff is always around my birthday, around the 17th. In that week, the Hall of Fame game.
Yeah,
is always around then.
I think that's on the 31st or something.
Is it?
Yeah, I believe so. It's July 31st. It is Thursday, July, which is next week. Next week. So
the first week of camp, they already have a preseason game. That's wild.
Lions versus the Chargers on Thursday night. So here we go. We're like, look, see, we get occupied all the way to February. Now
I love it. I was just fixing to cancel my YouTube TV.
I know, and I canceled it for 1 whole month, and then I started it up like a couple days ago, just because I wanted to. Funny enough, I try not to watch CNN and Fox News, but I wanted to see what their take on the Epstein thing was. So I kept flipping back and forth between them to see just what the different perspective was. But interesting enough, so I was looking at President Trump's True Social Friday, and he was talking about, it was after the birthday card thing, and he was talking about, watch Hannity. Hannity's going to explain it. So I was like, so I resubscribed because I was like, I want to hear what Hannity has to say. I just want to hear what he has to say.
Sure.
Well, then I turned it on, and it was nothing about the Epstein card. It was just like this Trump circle jerk, like, that here's an accomplishment. I mean, it was just like, literally, it was nothing about that. Just like, let me tell you how great President Trump is. And he like posts like an achievement and every few minutes. It was just like, like,
well, I retract my statement about the birthday card being fake news. And it sounds like it's real.
It was just a Trump achievement fest. And I was like, okay, well, I thought that because he was really pushing for you to watch it, and so stupidly I did, and that's what it was.
That's funny. Hey, look, man, I've had a couple people ask about the shirt in the comments. The shirt will be available. I've got a bunch of them in large, extra large, extra large, and 2X. I have not put them on the website yet because I did them to exclusively sell at the Wildlife Extravaganza, which we did sell a few of them. But the intentions were always to put whatever was left on the website. So they will be on the website tomorrow, and I'll make a Facebook post when they're available. They are long sleeve, sweat wicking, and they got my logo on the back and small, kind of up above the top of the neck there. So nice shirt. So tried something different, man. Try to hit a couple different people other than just t-shirt folks. So yeah, it's cool. It's been fun. The merch stuff has been fun, to say the least.
Yeah, so you're cool. Long sleeve before long anyway, right?
Yeah, and I've never done a long sleeve shirt. We've done hoodies,
but
I've never done a long sleeve shirt. And people have asked about one, and I just like, man, I didn't want to just do a long sleeve t-shirt. And this, because of the Wildlife Extravaganza, that Bottomland camo, it's like the super duper popular camo right now. And we like I said, we sold a bunch of them, and but we did a bunch of them. They're expensive to get made, so I definitely got to I need to sell them and get some money back on these. But either way, we're trying new things. We're not complacent. We'll do different logos, different stuff. We're going to move beyond just doing FAFO stuff too. We'll do some more fun stuff, good sayings, funny stuff. But the FAFO stuff has been, it's easy to do because it's popular, and I know we'll sell it, so it's easy. When I say easy, it's mentally it's easy to invest money in the product when it's something you're going to sell. The other stuff, more of a experiment. We can roll it out and do a print to order deal on some other designs, and if they get hot, then hey, we'll add them to the things that we keep in inventory list. So it's like I say, it's just a constant evolving deal. Whatever I'm trying to say here, I'm tired. So I feel like I've been talking all day. I've been running around all day trying to clean up stuff from the weekend and finish up the extravaganza inventory and everything else, and had to do the show this morning. And today was my 3-hour day we had Steven Seiler on the 3rd hour, owner of Burgers Blues Barbecue. That was a great interview. It's clipped out and put up on the podcast. If anybody wants to go listen to that, highly recommend it. But y'all check that out. Shaun, you got anything else?
That's it, man. That's what I got for tonight. I think we ran through it. So
y'all check Shaun out, Shaun and Lindsey tomorrow, or I don't know if she'll be there, if she's feeling better or whatever, but they're on from noon to 1. I am on from 7 to 9 on 103.9 FM, WYAB. Of course, we're streaming wherever you're watching this now. If you're watching on my platforms, I'll be there. If you're watching on Shaun's platform, he'll be there. And of course, we're at 103.9 or WYAB.com. And we make it easy to find our content. I mean, as easy as you can. I mean, we send it everywhere. If you prefer video, I still say YouTube is the absolute easiest way to, it's from a video perspective, is the easiest platform to watch. You can pick back up where you left off. You can go to your library, find the videos. You can't do that on Facebook. I don't know why people watch video on Facebook, but I'm glad you do. But I've tried to watch it all on YouTube, and then Rumble's secondary to that. And people say the X is pretty easy because you can watch X. Shaun, with one of the benefits to YouTube is YouTube Premium is you can black out the screen and still watch the video.
Sure.
And you can do that with X also. Well, you can do it with Rumble too, but YouTube charges you to do that. Like you have to leave your phone screen on if you don't have Premium. So
everybody needs to get Premium. I'm telling you, it is. Clay taught me into it 2 years ago, and it is just so worth it. I can't think of any other streaming platform that I can say that about, that I can live with. Like I cancel Netflix all the time or whatever it is, Max, but I will never, ever cancel, the YouTube. Yeah, no way. I'm not.
No ads.
Yeah,
it just makes it so much, and it opens up some more features as far as like usability. And it just makes it way, and Jonathan Barnett saying the same thing over here in the comments. It just makes it way easier to use with the $15 to $20 a month. I mean, the more they raise it, the more I'm gonna pay, and I'll just cancel some other stuff because it is the one thing that I watch I'm not exaggerating. 90% of the content I consume is on YouTube.
At least I would say, the same thing. I mean, the only thing I have not gotten into is I don't listen to a lot of music on there. I know you.
I don't either. Well, when I say content I consume, non-music.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's why I am too. Oh, speaking of that, before we go, I did want to get your take on this. Okay. And I don't want to really discuss the whole thing real quick, but just this point, and I think I mentioned to you this in a text. If you go to a Coldplay concert, you deserve what you get. Okay. Yeah. I just want to make sure you hate them as much as I do. I hated them 20 years ago. I hate them today. I think it's terrible music. And if you go there, and apparently a lot of people like it because it's pretty packed out there.
They're selling out stadiums.
How do they do that?
Dude, if you had told me in 2025 Coldplay would be selling out stadiums, I would have probably punched you because thinking I'm stupid enough to believe it.
Yeah, it's funny. I said that on the radio today. I jumped on Coldplay, and I did say this. I said, I wonder what Clay thinks about Coldplay. I said, and Lindsey was like, I bet he hates them like you. I was like, yeah, I bet he does. I just had this feeling that he hates.
That is Coldplay is fake smart people music. They're the non-metal version of Tool.
That's right. I was never into Tool either.
Me either. I've always that's smart people metal. Give me my fucking Pantera.
I still hate that video with the little thing going through the pipe. Like, the little claymation
industrial stuff.
Oh God. It was terrible. I never thought Tool was good. You're right. It was all smart people metal that they were into. The Coldplay, I think so I was in law school. And I remember like 2003, 2004, and I had this roommate and he was really into Coldplay. And we were driving back to Jackson because we both were from here. And he said, you just got to like feel this, listen to this. And he made me listen to shit the entire 3 hours back. And I was like, I got out of the car. I was like, this is the worst crap that I've ever heard in my life. And I still feel the same way.
Man, give me Hootie and the Blowfish. Give me any of that. Like I will take that top 40 manufactured pop crap 1,000,000 times to 1 over having to listen to Coldplay. Like what in the blue hell, Coldplay? I mean, look, I said that I said this in the group text, and I've said it to anybody that would listen the last couple of days. If I would be more embarrassed about being caught at a Coldplay concert than being caught cheating at a Coldplay concert.
I mean, yeah, and how many? So you're saying like that was the first time I even heard of Coldplay again since 2005, maybe.
Yeah, and that was 70. That was at Foxborough Stadium where the Patriots play.
God, when did they get this resurgence? Is this recent, or I'm just out of the loop on this?
Well, so I was watching a wrestling pay-per-view the other day. That's normally they had it in Texas at it's the other the other wrestling company, AEW. They do like their version of WrestleMania. It's called All In. Mm-hmm. The last couple of years has been at Wembley Stadium in Europe, in London. Well, this year they did it in America, where the Rangers play at their new ballpark.
Yeah,
and they were talking about they did it here this year because there was a scheduling conflict at Wembley. Coldplay, and I heard this before the meme, so they was already kind of on my radar that there's a bunch of people with really, really bad music taste. Had 8 sold out nights back to back at Wembley Stadium.
How is that possible?
That it holds 100,000 people for concerts, Shaun.
It's just the English really love Coldplay. I guess people in Boston do too, though.
Yeah, apparently they do here as well. Now you know who has gotten back together, and I wasn't really excited about it, but I've been watching a bunch of the videos now that they've actually started playing some shows, and they're doing stadiums as well, is Oasis.
Yeah, I
Now,
saw that.
I liked one or two songs like everybody else did back in the day because they were just so popular.
Mhm.
But man, I am like really happy for my Euro pop cult, Oasis fans, whatever, our European brethren over there. They are, if you'll go watch some of these concert videos from the last couple of weeks, the excitement on these people's faces at Oasis being back together and like reading some of the social media stuff, because now I'm kind of in the Oasis algorithm because I've liked a video or two.
Yeah.
And like seeing just the people gushing poetically about Oasis brothers getting back together and how this is if they can get back together and just and agree, anybody can, and to put your differences aside with people, and just how excited they are about Oasis being back together, has really been like inspiring. I'm really happy for them. I know that sounds weird, but I'm really happy for our friends over there, how excited they are about Oasis being back together. And it's like a thing over there right now.
I
But
only
it's like
remember
the crowd. What's
go ahead.
funny is like how excited and how much energy the crowd is putting off in relation to the music that's coming out at them. I'm seeing Limp Bizkit Woodstock type energy from the crowd, but with Oasis music playing at them. I'm like, I don't know what's going on here, but it's wildly entertaining to watch.
They're this into this. Those are like the I would consider like Coldplay, Oasis, like not the best of that era at all. Like somebody that's kind of a flat. Like what was that other? There was a bunch of those bands. Bare Naked Ladies is another one I'd throw into that.
Oh,
I hated them too. I mean, just that whole
been
group,
1 week since you looked at me.
Chumbawamba, like those people, like just those. They were cool for like a few months in 1998, and that was it. Like that they just weren't things. Oasis, I remember, was my senior in high school, and that Wonderwall song came out, and that was like a big song. But it's not something I've ever listened to in almost 30 years. I'll be honest with you, I just haven't. I mean,
they have a really good song that I'd never heard before until the other day. I was watching it, and they called they have their own version of "Stand by Me," but not a remake of the "Stand by Me" song. It's just a song called "Stand by Me." It's really good. I was like, oh wow, I had not heard that before, and it really good. But I don't know, they kind of have that Euro kind of punk trash, vibe to them, and I dig it. I dig that Liam, that the guy, was it Liam, the lead singer? I dig his commitment to being an asshole.
And Jonathan Barnett says here, don't disrespect Limp Bizkit. I'm not. Actually, I still like Limp Bizkit.
I'm not disrespecting Limp Bizkit. I'm just talking about the energy the crowd put off at Woodstock is legendary.
Yeah, I don't include them into the like Bare Naked Ladies Oasis group that I'm talking about here, Coldplay. I still like Limp Bizkit.
No, I mean, Korn, Limp Bizkit, Kid Rock, all that era of the rebirth of metal in America, that late 90s, early 2000s, I thought some of the best music in a generation came out. And that's why those guys are all still playing stadiums now.
Yeah, that was that other band too. Now I can't remember their name. I used to listen all the time. That was kind of in that. You'll know what if I said the song and I can't remember. Linkin Park. Thank you. That was the other one. I still listen to them occasionally.
Yeah, I mean, with a dead singer, they're still out back together with a female replacing the male.
Mm-hmm.
Selling out. Headlining massive festivals and stuff. I mean, nostalgia is a hell of a drug.
Yeah, people but I guess my nostalgia more is for that early 90s to mid 90s kind of rock, grunge, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Like if Garbage was touring, I'd go see that.
Oh, sure. Well, yeah, but so that's for me, it's 80s hair metal and then like early 90s grunge. It's the stuff I'm really nostalgic for. But now the people who are younger than us, like same timeline, age wise, it's usually a 20-year cycle.
Yeah.
When like 80s hair metal died for a while, and then like after about 20 years, people started really wanting to hear it again. And those bands all made these big comebacks, and they're still riding that wave today. And a lot of these bands from that era, like Limp Bizkit, really had to make their bread and butter their bread the last decade overseas.
Mm-hmm.
But they've been doing so well over there, and the videos have been going viral, and everybody wants to be part of a break stuff mosh pit after the Woodstock documentary. And that has taken Limp Bizkit and shot them back into the stratosphere of pop culture. So now they're over here. They've been opening up from Metallica on their stadium tour for the last several months. And I'm sure that we'll be getting a birdie told me that we're going to get a Limp Bizkit Creed stadium tour next summer.
Huh. That'd be worth it.
Yeah. Now talk about culture clash a little bit, but Creed is a much heavier the band than people give them credit for. Go see them live and you're like, oh shit, I forgot how heavy Creed was. And but you get Limp Bizkit and Creed headlining stadiums. That's going to be sick. And and that came out of Scott Stapp's mouth. So on an interview he did that didn't go viral, like it just kind of slid under the radar. So I'm taking Scott Stapp at his word, barring any business decisions changing or anything like that. We could get a Limp Bizkit Creed stadium tour next summer.
Do we? Does Metallica ever come anywhere close to here, or is it like
they were in Atlanta and Nashville in the last few months on this two night stand tour?
Really?
They play 2 nights back to back and don't play any song twice.
Okay.
So you almost like if you want to hear one and hear one of the hits, it's like you got to go both nights or you'll miss one of the songs you really want to hear live.
Yeah, that's got to be kind of expensive, I would imagine.
Oh yeah, I've heard it's asinine, and they're playing in the round and all that stuff, and I would have gone. I don't know. I'll wait. I just did not really like their stage setup. This kind of weird circular stage with a hole in the middle of it, and it just didn't do it for me. I didn't really want to invest in it, having to see them in the round, and then the opening acts, having to see them on that weird stage in the middle of the daylight, unless you see them in a dome. Like you can kind of go watch some of the videos of Limp Bizkit and Pantera opening up for them, say like at Nissan Stadium or something like that. And it's just weird. It's probably a cool experience there in person to be able to, for that many people to be able to get close to the stage and kind of inside and outside of it and create that much more premium seating. But I don't know. To me, a band, I want to see a concert with a stage against the wall with a backdrop and a stage left and a stage right with a riser. I like a traditional, as traditional as that can be, a traditional stage versus these in the round things. But I understand why they do it, because you're maximizing floor space and seating, and you're not walling off 10,000 seats behind a curtain. So I get why people are doing it, because if you can sell 50,000 tickets, you can sell 60,000 tickets most likely. So you might as well maximize that. But I'm not the biggest fan of it.
Oh, well, I did in the interim, I had ChatGPT answer the question of who likes Coldplay, because I just wanted to know. And apparently, according to them, it's NPR listeners with feelings.
That's nailed it.
That's perfect, right?
ChatGPT for the win.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
ChatGPT. Ask it who likes Limp Bizkit.
I mean, let's see.
Clay Edwards Show listeners.
Yeah, right. Like, who like Limp Bizkit? But NPR listeners with feelings, which is the most perfect explanation of that I've ever heard. Original fans were teenage boys with baggy jeans, wallet chains, and too much Axe body spray. They didn't have Axe body spray back then, did they? Maybe they did. I can't remember. WWE fans who still quote Attitude Era promos. And who are they now? 30 to 40 somethings yelling, "Y'all ready to get rowdy" before their kids' soccer games. But people who claim Significant Other is a legit masterpiece while sipping IPAs. Metal dads who secretly blast chocolate starfish in the minivan.
Yes. I mean, did you realize that they named an album after shitwater?
Yeah, right.
And drinking like butthole juice.
Oh God.
Chocolate starfish and hot dog flavored water.
Jesus.
I mean, I know it sounds gross either way you say it, but they got away with that.
Yeah.
We used to be a proper country, damn it.
Yeah, right. At one time,
I mean, could you imagine an album? Like rap music gets away with all the unpolitically correct stuff, and then just bitches, hoes, tricks, selling drugs, just all the sexual innuendo, everything. But like anything outside of rap music tries to do it, or any white artist at all tries to do it, and it's cancel culture. Here they come for them. Like, could you imagine being Motley Crue or Poison now? And like coming out with all that sexual innuendo now, and the girls in the videos and all that stuff.
I don't know. Y'all try to call them trans or something. Like we can't have this indoctrination here.
Oh yeah. I didn't even think about it from that perspective. But I was just thinking about from the way they kind of demean women or sexualize women or whatever. And made a career from it. But Oh, I don't know, but if they look trans, can they really criticize them for the other?
I know, that's right.
It would be an interesting science experiment, social experiment.
Exactly.
All right, well, we can end it there because I could talk about this stuff all night long, and I got to take my medicine and eat something and go to bed. So I will see y'all on the radio in the morning or back here on the live stream. Shaun, I'll see y'all tomorrow night, brother.
See you, man.
All right, peace.